As we come back, we're going to bring you Interstate Battery Hornet A main event. 30 laps coming up and a great field coming at you. Let's bring them to you in the 07 on the pole. Our friend Zach Bristol. Outside of Zach in the number 16 car, sponsored by Exterior Wall Systems, Inc., is Peyton Hopp. In the 00 with an in-car camera, brought to you by GN Northwest, is Dan Miller, the 64 of Deacon Postel, brought to you by Handy in the Valley. In the inside third row, the 81 of Bobby Fisher. Outside of Bobby in the 82, brought to you by Der Wiener Schnitzel, is Steve Hatch. In the 77, Christian Miller, sponsored by Faber Construction. And the 24 car is Mechanic Cox. In the 7D, Dawson Cox. Outside of Dawson, in the number 76 with an in-car camera, brought to you by Dietz Family Racing, is Jamie Corbett.
Inside of row 6, it's the 68 of Blaine Manning. That's the Exterior Wall Systems car. Outside of him is Colvin Miller in the Brandy Hood Promotions car. Inside of row 7 in the 54X, it's Brandon Terrio. That's Reardon Racing sponsored. Outside of him in the 143 is Damon Claiborne. In the Cascade Auto Center, Collision Repair. In the 32 car, it's Chase Gardner. Outside of Chase, it'll be the 13 of John Newbaum in the A1 Muffler and Brake out of Everett. And in the 98 car, inside of that row, it'll be Tom Hibbs, the Bennett Design Construction car. Outside of him,
Lucas Hausenfluck in the 03, brought to you by Cornerstone Homes, and Trent Gillespie in the 025. This is brought to you by Buzz Inn Steakhouse. You can kind of tell it's getting towards the end of the year, huh? Yeah, brought to you by Buzz Inn Steakhouse. For the best steaks in town, head out to Buzz Inn Steakhouse for a hand-cut Angus beef steak, or check out their breakfast menu served all day. With 12 locations, there's a Buzz Inn Steakhouse near you. Let's go inside the 00 of Miller and kind of get an idea of what the start is like on these things. He'll be right behind Zach Bristol in the 07 car with the 16 of Peyton Hopp up on the outside.
You know, the points battle here, another good one too, but Brandon Terrio with 390 points, Corbett with 362, and Newbaum at 344. Again, 50 points available here tonight to win the main event. It goes 50-48, down by 2.
All right, Zach Bristol on the inside, Peyton Hopp up on the outside. Hopp with a nice run coming into turn number 3 on 3ets with a bit of a lead over the 07, the big boy of Zach Bristol, now in that second spot. The in-car camera is Dan Miller. Kind of giving you an idea what a lap around this place is like in his number 00 car. In that third spot, Deacon Postel in the 4th spot. Then we go back to Steve Hatch, Bobby Fisher, Christian Miller, Jamie Corbett. Jamie, surprising, and I shouldn't say surprisingly because he's been pretty strong all year, but good to see him coming into this race in the 2nd spot. Brendan Terrio is your points leader and has been pretty much all season long, having a breakthrough year in his car, and your points leader coming into tonight with 390 points.
Our leader, the 16 car Peyton Hopp. Hopp's family, big into boat racing at the upper levels, the bigger boats, you know, the hydroplanes, the limited hydroplanes, that sort of thing. So can you imagine when he came home and said, "Hey, Dad, I don't want to run a boat. I'm going to race a car at Evergreen Speedway." But we saw him just a couple of weeks ago, and he had kind of a bad parking job.
He did. He kind of ended up on, and that's what we were talking about earlier when we were watching the Interstate Battery B main event, when that short access road that you can see where the cars going to go from turn 3 on the 5th mile flat track up to turn 3 on the 3/8. Well, he kind of got hung up on one of those barriers there, and pretty spectacular shot. They got it down, and he went back on his way. So Peyton Hopp having a good season in his first year, I believe, in the Interstate Battery Hornets. Looking good.
But he went down in the corner there on the outside, got a little bit of a boost, and ended up parking it up on top of the Jersey barrier. The track tow crew did a great job of getting it off without hurting it. He did finish the race, but Peyton Hopp has done a great job this year, and he continues to lead with just 25 more to go, and he might claim his first win of the season.
We'll see how it goes here as we're working the early stages of our A main event on a gray Saturday afternoon here in Monroe, Washington, as part of Home Track Heroes. Kind of odd, we've got a couple more of these to go. We're not going to be on next week due to an event that is going to be broadcast on a different type of platform. So we won't be with you, but we'll have championship, 2 weeks of championships coming up here to wrap up our first season of Home Track Heroes, which kind of went fast.
You're absolutely correct about that. We're going to see their Granite Construction sprint cars tonight and again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll follow that up with the biggie for the Pro Late models, and I think that's going to be a pretty darn good event. Hopefully we'll get a few more cars out. I tried to start a rumor a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know who's coming out this week. But we need to see a couple of those guys, maybe a Donnie Wannett or a Tom Moriarty or something like that, or Trenton Moriarty will come out and do it all at the championship night.
It'd be pretty cool. There is Dan Miller having an impressive run in his 00 car with Steve Hatch in that third spot. Here comes Jamie Corbett as he looks like he's getting underneath. He is 07. Side by side, Zach Bristol up on the top side, Jamie Corbett down on the bottom as the young man brings his car, and he will get around Zach and put him up into that fourth spot. Let's go inside and see our points leader, Brendan Theriault.
You can look in there, you can see the switches with the lights on it below. That is one of the gauges that he uses. There's a fan on that windshield because these cars run rain or shine here at Evergreen Speedway. That fan helps keep that windshield dry because it'll fog up the heat and everything that comes out of the motor. Makes it very, very difficult to see, and people over the years have used sticks with rags on everything else, but the fan is probably the best way to go with a good old-fashioned windshield wiper on the outside.
Like we mentioned, Theriault, who's currently in the 9th spot, comes in as your points leader with a pretty good lead, 390 over Jamie Corbett's 363. We'll try and get a calculation before we leave you tonight as to how this battle is going for our Interstate Battery Hornets. That's a good shot of Dawson Cox, who's had quite a few wins this season, running pretty much anything that he can get into. He's been running the Buzz-In Steakhouse Stingrays, obviously our Interstate Battery Hornets, our Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models, and just, you know, nice to be young and be able to do that. That's about the best way I can
There's
put
nothing better for a race car driver than seat time.
Exactly.
And it really doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's a good race car, it's a safe race car. You will learn something from each and every type of race car you do. It's hard sometimes to make it translate when he's out here running an Interstate Battery Hornet, then he goes and jumps into his, Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late model. Sometimes you got to remember to yourself, okay, one of them is this type of front wheel drive, that one's a rear wheel drive, big heavy car, whatever it may be, but there's nothing like seat time for a race car driver. And besides that, that's when they're happy.
That's it. That's it. Well, you can definitely tell which side of the back end of the exhaust pipe is on Steve Hatch's number 82 car. But he's still hanging in there. Totally impressed with the run that Peyton Hopp is having in his number 16 machine. Has led this thing from the get-go and been pulling away, too, but not by very much. You can kind of see the gap between first and second spot right there. There's Brendan Theriault working underneath a car as they come out of turn number 2 on 3/8 course. Zach Bristol is hanging out behind Dawson Cox, and we move up to Dan Miller in the 00. He's had a pretty solid run, so we're halfway through our main event for the Interstate Battery Hornets.
Theriault has a 28-point lead. A couple of weeks ago when he was racing, didn't have one of his better nights, lost a little bit of his points lead. If he finishes back in about the 5th, 6th spot tonight, they'll chew away at a little bit more of that. A fairly safe margin at this point, but worse things have happened as you come down to championship night.
Yeah, no kidding. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll have that championship nights, and that is plural. We'll have 2 of them for you coming up 2 weeks from tonight, and then we will bring you our final show of 2020 for Home Track Heroes here on CW11. The week after that, hopefully some pretty special things planned for those 2 shows, and kind of try and figure out a way to kind of meet some of these champions and the guys that are coming into the night with pretty slim points leads. See if we can get to kind of pick their brains a little bit better. As Jamie Corbett now is going to try and figure out a way to get around Steve Hatch's number 82 car, as we see Dawson Cox in the number 7 car, currently in that 5th spot, looking to get around Dan Miller's 00.
Your points leader, Theriault, now up into the 6th spot, just slowly moving his way forward. He's got 12 more laps to go. But, man, I am impressed with Peyton Hopp tonight.
Yes,
he did start on the outside of that front row, but that cat has run every lap just like perfection. I mean, he has hit his marks, done his thing. maybe parking that thing up on the wall, straightened it out, and got it going in the right direction, because he looks very, very tough tonight.
He does. He looks solid, and he looks like he's just been paying attention to what his car is doing and where it wants to go and how it feels. And I think Peyton, you know, like you had mentioned at the start of the race, he comes from a family of racers. And good racers, whether they race on dirt, whether they race on the water, whether they race in the air, good racers come from good racing family, and there's a lot that they can do. Let's go inside and see what Jamie Corbett's hanging out with and what he's up to.
Great view,
car.
absolutely, of that roll cage. Just grab the gear as he heads down in there. You can see that he's got a couple of gauges. He's left the stock gauges into his left, but to his right side, you know, he's got a couple of gauges that are telling him what's going on with that motor. But pretty cool view, and you can see his feet in there working as he's working the pedals. And these guys run different courses, guys and girls run different courses throughout the year, so that they can't set that car up to turn just one way.
Right. The thing that impresses me about Jamie is just how smooth he is and how smooth he looks. That car, I mean, it's just, you know, so well set up.
Yep.
And he's not, the car is not beating him up. He's and that's got to be huge. I know these races are 30 laps, and they get by pretty quick. But I'm really impressed with how easy Corbett makes it look. Here we go now. We're working lap number 23. It is still the Peyton Hopp show as he comes off of the high point of turn number 4. We'll put one more lap away, but still keeping that pretty healthy lead over Jamie Corbett, with Steve Hatch in third, Dawson Cox in fourth, and Dan Miller continuing a really impressive top 5 run with the points leader Brendan Terrio, who took a nice look on the inside, but Miller may not be able to shut the door on him here, as Terrio has still got his eye on that bottom groove.
Well, you know, I hate to do this, but I mean, Peyton Hopp, just a handful of laps left to go this first win, and I promise you, there is nothing like that first win that you have.
No.
And when he gets up on Monday morning to go to work, wherever, or to school, whatever he has to do, there'll be a smile on his face. He's driving down the road, and, you know, it'll be so much easier to go out in the shop and work on that race car. It's all worth it when you pick up that first win.
Yep, and all they'll do is put that trophy on the roof of the car when it's parked in the garage on jack stands, just to remind him how it's going to be. Another good shot at Jamie Corbett there in the second spot, as he has managed to pick up a few seconds and few yards on the back end of the 16 of Peyton Hopp as they complete one more lap. Man, maybe Corbett might be able to catch him up. We'll see here in a few minutes, as we've got 4 laps to go for our Interstate Hornet A main event here at Evergreen Speedway as part of Home Track Heroes tonight. Dawson Cox looking to get underneath the car, and that looks like it's still going to be Steve Hatch in that third spot. We'll see if Dawson can get up on the Angel of the Winds podium, as he has done so many times this year.
You know, if you think about it, Dawson Cox has passed more cars this year than anybody at Evergreen Speedway.
Good point.
Because it seems like if there's a race, if it's not on the figure 8 course, he's in it.
That's it.
Maybe even some of that too.
All right, let's kind of put ourselves in the driver's seat of the 16 of Peyton Hopp right now. As you look up in that mirror and you see Corbett, who has the KG veteran now, is kind of getting to make this thing interesting, as he has really gained a lot of acreage coming up on the back end of the 16 of Hopp here in the last few laps, as we see the 82 of Hatch make its way around. Dawson Cox all over the back end of that car. But Peyton Hopp's got to be starting to get a little worried. And then, boy, the anxiety level in that young man right about now.
He's saying, please let me see that white flag.
There
it is.
He does. One more to go for the young man, Peyton Hopp, in that 16 car, looking for his first win in the Interstate Battery Hornets, with the KG veteran Jamie Corbett right behind him in that second spot. Steve Hatch with all kinds of Dawson Cox's business all over the back of him. But let's figure it out up front. Here it goes. It's going to be close. And the checkered flag is going to be out. And way to go, Peyton Hopp. Holy cow. Good job, young man. And Jamie Corbett gave you everything you could handle, but you did a beautiful job keeping that thing going forward and getting your first win in that. So this should be pretty cool when we bring him up to our Angel of the Winds winner's podium, and let's see how his burnout skills are. Does he have them? Oh, we're not going to find out. Oh, it's too bad. But
he's not thinking about burnout.
no,
Look at that.
He's all right.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. That's all for you guys. All right, let's go down and see what he's got to say here with the Angel of the Winds.
All right, Steve Hatch, driver of the 82 Hornet car, second podium in a row for you, third place. Walk me through that race tonight.
I was worried about the rain. It ended up drying out pretty good. I don't know. It was a challenge. It was good. I liked it.
Anything you could have done to catch Jamie out there?
Probably not. He's a veteran.
Anybody you want to shout out?
Lucky Speed Shop out in Bellingham, and then Bert Jacobs and the rest of my team.
All right, Steve Hatch comes home in third place tonight. All right, Jamie Corbett, number 76 Hornet, comes home in second place tonight. Anything you could have done to catch Peyton out there?
You know what? I just needed more laps. That kid got out front and just set sail. So good driving, Peyton. Awesome job.
And any sponsors you want to shout out tonight?
You know, tonight it's really about Paul Peterson. He's my new crew chief. Been working on my car the last few weeks. I appreciate all of his help. He's a super smart guy. And without him and, of course, my other sponsors, Cole Reardon with Reardon Racing. Oh, man, I can't think of them all. Wellness Solutions, Laura Adams, The Rev, Bobby Black, Two Girls in a Leaf, Angie and Kayla. You know, I appreciate everybody's help. Brandy Chavez Promotion and Brandy Hood Promotions and TransLab, Brian Spiker. You know, I love all you guys, and this is so much fun, and thank you for having me.
All right, Jamie Corbett comes home in second place tonight. All right, Peyton Hopp, driver of the number 16 Hornet car, comes home in first place tonight. Is this what redemption looks like?
Oh, man. I'm just getting emotional trying to think of what to say, you know? I mean, to be up on a wall a month ago to now being here, first place, I mean, I'm literally speechless. I got many people to thank. I got Jeff Johnson, Michael Manning, Blaine Manning, Christian Miller, Saxon Hopp. All those guys helped me get to where I am today. They helped me build this Eclipse, and I'd like to thank my sponsors, Plan B Garage, Exterior Wall Systems, GN Northwest, Matt Johnson Design, and Hop Racing, Hornets Nest Racing, and Brandy Hood Promotions. And this is just a surreal moment for me. I mean, I've been coming here for a long time as a kid watching all these races, and it's just amazing. I was able to get my first win here.
All right, Peyton Hopp, very excited about his first podium of the season.
Woo!